It is TexAgs Rewind presented by Yeti. I am David Nuño. I got a crew of people to help me out today. Nick Savage, hello.
Hello.
Thank you. That was a really good hello. Matthew Dawson, hello.
Hello, David.
Guys, let's go around the room. What's the favorite part of the show? Nick, you go first.
You're making Zoe work overtime back here, switching everything. My favorite part of the show was, like I said at the close there, Pete Fiutak, y'all's debate about if Connor Wigman should be a too early Heisman on a watch list, and I think he should be.
Well, look, if your watch list is 5 people, I understand Connor not being in the mix. If your watch list is 20 people, Connor's absolutely in the mix, right? Like, I mean, especially at the if Graham Mertz is out there, if who's it, K Club, there's some other names out there. Look, it's early, it's fine. Fly under the radar and do your thing next year, Connor. What was your favorite part of the show, Dawson?
Look, I mean, first hour, I love me some OB, right? He had some zingers on there. I mean, he was cooking today. He was definitely cooking today. I think you can agree with that, David.
Yeah, he was cooking. We talked about Bryce Anderson on the show. He's staying, and there's a little bit of not a debate, just weird in college football world. We have to tell the people that we're staying, but that's exactly what happened, and it does send a good signal. So we talked about Bryce. We talked about Aggies in the NFL with Charean Williams. We had Justin Lanham talking some Aggie hoops, and of course, as Nick mentioned, Pete Fiutak of College Football News. That and more. It's the TexAgs Rewind.
Is it possible that Bryce Anderson just loves being at Texas A&M and sees everything that's going on in the negative press and the negative, all things, and just says, "Hey, I'm going to put it out there. I'm staying."
Yeah.
When one of your best players, and let's not get this messed up. He's one of A&M's best players this year. If we were doing that 30 for 30 or whatever,
He'd be in the top 5, 6?
I think so.
Yeah.
So you have a guy like that says, "Hey, I'm staying." That's a positive thing. Why would anyone criticize that? Oh, by the way, I think if there's any place where if you're going to make a show of loyalty could also be profitable, it's probably here. Well, because NIL people are probably like, "I like that guy. He's showing loyalty to my program. I want to reward him for that."
I don't think it's a shot at Bryce. I think it's a shot at where we are today in this college football world where you have to send messages out. I'm not going, well, shouldn't it be under, like, my son.
I get that, but I'd be celebrating it.
Sure. Yeah. There's a both factor here. My son's not going to wake up tomorrow and be like, "I'm staying in this family." Like, when you're an Aggie, you're a freaking Aggie, and that's it. Unfortunately, today, I got excited. Sorry. A little excited. But today, that's not how it works. You have to almost be like, "Mom and Dad, I've decided I'm not going to transfer to another family." Like, that's where we are right now.
Yeah, except there's, it's such a epidemic of transfers now.
Yeah.
Right. And, it really helps that one of your best players, I think, will stand up and say, "Hi, I'm staying," because.
Well, I think that announcement came from Texas Aggies United. I'm pretty sure it did. But yes, It's still, he co-signed it, right? He's not going to allow them.
Yeah, I don't think, it goes without him making a comment, right? So, I think that's great. In fact, I would love to see every player that's intending to stay to make an announcement. "Hey, I'm staying."
Yeah, it was a good week. A bunch of honorable mentions. Tyrell Dodson, we hadn't mentioned his name this year. He had 8 tackles the other day, playing really well. Josh Reynolds in the Lions lost 3 catches, 44 yards, and a touchdown. Braden Mann, a 28-yard pass on a fake punt against the Cowboys. Maybe he should have been the quarterback Sunday night, Olin. He might have done a little bit better than.
Well, he didn't lose any turnovers.
I'm joking. That's right. He had no turnovers. Let's go number 3. We're going to go Donovan Wilson, Cowboys safety, 5 tackles, a forced fumble, a fumble recovery. Just playing awfully well, kind of under the radar guy for a lot of people, but he's playing outstanding. Number 2, mentioned his name almost every week, and there's a good reason why. Justin Matabuke has at least half a sack in 10 games in a row, 11 sacks overall. He had 5.5 sacks last year, which was his career high. So he's just shattered that. 7 tackles, a sack, 5 quarterback hits. Amazing in that win over the Rams that went into overtime. He's going to make a lot of money because he becomes a free agent after this season, and they love pass rushers. So speaking of a guy who's proven and will get paid, he's the guy. And number 1, just really happy for him. He missed a field goal early in the game, but came back. Randy Bullock kicked a 37-yard game winner on the last play last night to give the Giants the upset win over the Packers. I love Randy. He's a great story, and you love it when good people succeed, and he's one of those good people. So happy to see him get that last play field goal.
All right, let's close out with Houston. We know probably the best team that A&M is going to play this year, right? Definitely in the non-conference. We'll see how things develop in the SEC. How hard? Well, okay. Houston plays a similar brand of basketball at a higher level, at least as of right now.
Sure.
How does A&M combat that?
Yeah, I mean, look, I watched a little bit of the U of H Xavier game, and what they were able to do to them had me a little worried at the beginning of the game. They play fast offensively. LJ Cryer, the transfer from Baylor that they just got this year, was going off in that game, and he has the ability to shoot the ball well. And then they have the Jamal Shed kid that was the conference defensive player of the year last year. And so they've got these pieces that it's like, man, they're really good. They're holding teams. I saw statistically they're holding opponents to the lowest three-point percentage or one of the lowest three-point percentages in the country. And so to me, I guess the positive about that is if they're already doing that, we don't shoot the ball well from three anyway, and we've been able to stay in some of these games, not shooting the ball well from three. So, maybe that's a recipe for us is, hey, they already hold teams to a low percentage three. So, again, let's go get to the basket. Let's go get fouled. Let's go get some easy buckets. And so now that's easier said than done. Houston is really good. They're probably the best. I have to look at the statistics, but they're probably the best defensive team, if not one of the top 5 in the country right now. And so it's going to be a battle for sure.
Yeah, and the goalposts moved. I mean, how many times I'm sure you figured this out. How many times would Jimbo have gone to a expanded college football playoff, or at least been in the mix going into the final week of the regular season? I mean, because now going forward, you're right. I mean, we've talked about this before. You talk about the programs that are bound by absolutely nothing. That's Texas A&M. I mean, there's zero excuse. I mean, NIL money isn't a problem. Facilities, fan base. I mean, this is the program that's always done the least with the most. And now you don't have to go 11-1. You don't have to beat Bama every year. You just, like you said, it's not even 9 wins. The goal's got to be 10 wins, because that 10-2 gets you to the college football playoff in an expanded era. That 10-2 will always put Texas A&M in the top 11. And that's got to be the bar each and every year. Now, it's going to be too tough to say, hey, win the national championship every year. And I know that some places that's how it's going to be, but that's not really, really realistic. It really is, can you get into the tournament every single year? And that's probably where this has to be set. And, again, Jimbo was able to recruit. That he was able to get the guys there. Can Elko do that at Jimbo's level and take them to do this? All right, we'll see. We'll see how this works out.
Look, one of the things about Jimbo, and I really liked Jimbo, I thought it was going to work out until I didn't think it was going to work out, right? And it was probably between the 5 and 7 in the early part of this year. But he didn't evolve. And I think he showed a lot of loyalty to some assistant coaches that maybe didn't need the loyalty that he showed them. Like, I've said this 1,000 times. Our viewers and listeners are probably sick of me saying it. If you just learn how to block, this is a 10-win team every year. They did not block well the last 3 years. Every quarterback got hurt.
And you could argue that this might have been the first year that Florida State finally recovered from not having an offensive line from the end of the Jimbo Fisher era.
MD. I don't know. Do people ever call you MD?
Yeah.
Okay, this is weird. This is really an awkward exchange. Just tell the people what to do.
Yeah. Oh, I'm supposed to tell people what to do.
No, not
Gosh.
you. MD. God, this has been the most awkward outro.
This is terrible.
It's good. That's what makes it good.
Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. I mean, that's just what you got to do.
What about comment? You don't think they should comment?
Well, they should definitely comment. Comment. Make sure. Tell David that he's a nice guy.
Matt, don't let David get to you here. He's the king of putting people in super awkward situations. So, don't let him get to you.
Hey, Nick, I got a question for you.
What's up? Camera's on you, bro. I don't care.
I know. It's a good thing. See you next time.
It is, but it isn't.
But it is. But it isn't.